Once upon a time, there was a famous Lithuanian bear. She was not just any bear, she was a bear with a very big heart for adventure. Her name was Meshka. One sunny morning, Meshka decided it was time for a grand journey. Her first stop was the capital city, Vilnius. She wanted to see the famous Gediminas Tower. She had heard many stories about this old castle, so she packed her small bag with honey snacks and a map of Lithuania. She was very excited to begin her trip. She hummed a happy little tune as she walked towards the city center, her paws tapping gently on the cobblestone streets. Meshka did not want to look like a simple tourist. Oh no, she wanted to look special. She found a big shiny suit of armor. It belonged to a knight from long ago. It was a bit heavy, but it fit her perfectly. Clank, clank, clank went her paws on the ground. Everyone in the streets of Vilnius stopped to look. Look, a night bear is going up the hill, a little boy shouted. Meshka felt very proud. She waved her big paw to the people. She felt like a true guardian of the city, ready to protect its history and its people from any dragons that might appear. When she finally reached the top of Gediminas' hill, the view was amazing. Meshka could see the entire city below her. The red roofs of the old town looked like little red flowers. The Neris River flowed gently like a blue ribbon. She stood tall in her armor, feeling like the king of the castle. She imagined old dukes and duchesses walking right where she was standing now. The wind whistled through the holes in her helmet, playing a little song just for her. It was a magical moment she would never, ever forget. Meshka spent the whole afternoon exploring every corner of the tower. She read all the signs about the history of the great Grand Duchy of Lithuania. She imagined battles and grand feasts happening right there. The sun began to set, painting the sky in beautiful colors of orange and pink. It was time for her to continue her journey. She took off her heavy armor. She carefully placed it back where she found it. "Thank you for the adventure, Vilnius," she whispered to the wind. Her heart was full of joy and new memories. Now Meshka needed to get to Trakai. But how? Walking would take too long. She did not have a car. Then she had a brilliant idea. She would try hitchhiking. She walked to the edge of the road leading out of Vilnius. She made a big sign with her paw. On the sign she wrote Trakai in big friendly letters. She held it up high and smiled her best bear smile. Many cars drove by. Some drivers waved, and some just looked surprised to see a bear by the road. Meshka did not give up. She knew someone kind would stop for her. Finally, a bright yellow car pulled over. The driver was a friendly old man with a big white mustache. "Are you going to Trakai, little bear?" he asked with a chuckle. "Yes, please," said Meshka, feeling very happy. She hopped into the car. The journey was wonderful. The old man told her stories about Trakai and its beautiful castle on the water. Meshka looked out the window. She saw green forests and blue lakes passing by. She shared one of her honey snacks with the kind driver. They sang funny songs together all the way to Trakai. When they arrived, Meshka thanked the driver and waved goodbye. She ran straight to the lake. The Trakai Island castle looked like something from a fairy tale. It was sitting on an island in the middle of the bright blue water. "Wow," she said out loud. "This is even more beautiful than in the pictures." She wanted to get closer to the castle. She saw many colorful boats by the shore. She saw a special boat that looked like a big swan. It was a water bike. That was the perfect boat for a bear like her. Meshka rented the swan-shaped water bike. Her big paws were perfect for pedaling. Pedal, pedal, pedal she went across the water. The little waves splashed gently against her swan boat. She circled the entire castle, looking at its tall red brick towers and strong walls. She waved to the people on the shore, and they all waved back, laughing at the sight of a bear on a water bike. The sun was warm on her fur, and a gentle breeze cooled her down. This was the best way to see the castle, she thought. It was so much fun. After her lovely time in Trakai, Meshka felt a rumble in her tummy. A big rumble, a bear-sized rumble. She remembered hearing about a place called Karpine. It was famous for its delicious fish. That sounded perfect. She hitchhiked again, and soon a friendly family in a minivan gave her a ride. They were also going to Karpine for a day of fishing and relaxing. They told her all about the huge carp that lived in the ponds there. Meshka's mouth began to water just thinking about it. A big, juicy, roasted carp sounded like the best meal in the world. When they arrived, Meshka saw many big ponds shimmering in the sun. She got a fishing rod and found a quiet spot by the water. She was a very patient bear. She sat and waited, and waited, and waited some more. Suddenly she felt a strong pull on her fishing line. It was a big one. She pulled and pulled with all her might. Splash! A huge, shiny carp jumped out of the water. It was the biggest carp she had ever seen. She had done it. She had caught her own dinner. She was a very proud and very hungry bear. Meshka knew exactly what to do next. She built a small, safe campfire. She carefully prepared the carp. She wrapped it in big leaves to keep it juicy. Then she placed it over the fire to roast slowly. The smell was absolutely delicious. It filled the air with a smoky, fishy aroma. While the carp was cooking, she opened a special drink she had brought. It was a bottle of non-alcoholic beer. It was bubbly and refreshing, the perfect drink for a warm afternoon. She hummed a little song as she waited for her feast. Finally, the carp was ready. It was cooked perfectly. The skin was crispy, and the meat inside was soft and white. Meshka sat down on the grass and enjoyed her meal. Every bite was a taste of heaven. The roasted fish and the cool, bubbly drink were a perfect match. She ate the whole thing, from head to tail. It was the best meal she had had on her whole trip. With a full and happy tummy, Meshka felt ready for a good, long rest. The sun was starting to go down, and the day was coming to an end. With her belly full of delicious carp, Meshka found a perfect spot to spend the night. It was a soft patch of grass right next to a quiet lake. She set up her little tent. It was a cozy blue tent, just big enough for one adventurous bear. As darkness fell, she built another small campfire. The flames danced in the dark, crackling and popping. They sent warm light all around her. It was so peaceful. The only sounds were the fire, the gentle lapping of the lake water, and the crickets chirping their nightly song. Meshka had brought a bag of marshmallows for dessert. She found a long, thin stick and pushed a marshmallow onto the end. She held it over the fire, turning it slowly. First, it turned golden brown. Then, it got a little bit black and crispy on the outside. It was perfect. The inside was warm and gooey. She ate one, then another, and then another. While she ate her sweet treat, she looked up at the sky. It was full of a million twinkling stars. She had never seen so many stars before. She started singing quiet campfire songs to herself. As the fire turned to glowing embers, Meshka felt very sleepy. The long day of adventure had made her tired. She crawled into her cozy tent and zipped it up. She snuggled into her sleeping bag, feeling safe and warm. The sound of the lake was like a gentle lullaby. She closed her eyes and smiled. It had been such a wonderful day. She had been a knight, a hitchhiker, a sailor, and a master chef all in one day. What an amazing country Lithuania was, full of so many wonderful places to see and things to do. That night, Meshka had a beautiful dream. She dreamt she was in a new place. She was standing on a long wooden bridge that went far out into the sea. It was the Palanga Bridge. The sun was shining, and the sea was a beautiful blue. In her dream, she was lying on a sandy beach. She was wearing cool sunglasses. And in her paw, she held a tall glass with a little umbrella in it. It was a sweet, fruity cocktail. She could hear the sound of the waves and the seagulls. She smiled in her sleep, already dreaming of her next big adventure.